What's up? It's your boy donnieC, and I am back with another YouTube video. And before I get started, please like, comment, and subscribe so you can be the first to get tuned in to my newest videos. We're going to review the newest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is season 12, episode 21. We're one episode away from the finale in that week-ass virtual reunion. Fuck you, Corona. But we're gonna get into some things, so make sure you keep it locked right here to see what my opinions are of this latest episode. Before we get into the first actual scene of the episode, you know, Housewives likes to open up with like showing us what each housewife is doing. First of all, we see Eva moving into her new box. That was really cute to see her packing boxes and move into a big box. And then we saw Portia talking about her baby be sucking her titty by herself. That was interesting, because I always thought that if the baby can ask for the titty, the baby is too old to be sucking the titty. But that's just me. The baby can, and the baby got no. Let's get into it. In the scene that we are watching in the beginning of the show, we see that Kandi and Kenya are discussing Todd. It definitely seems like Kenya is very understanding of Todd's predicament in Kandi and Todd's relationship. I'm actually surprised how much Kandi doesn't understand where Todd is coming from. It's like, girl, that's your husband. You are not exhibiting wifely or motherly duties. You're always gone. Like, you can't slow down traveling for a little bit. It's just very concerning to me that Kandi has that much of a disconnect that she doesn't understand that your child was just crying and asking for you a few days ago, and the free time that you have when you come back home, you decide to spend it working. And I understand that you want to get to the coin, but it's like Kenya said in one of the scenes, she said, girl, how much money do you need? You know what I'm saying? Kandi is at a point where she will always have residual checks. Kandi will always be paid. And like Kenya said, you won't always find the love of your life. That tends to only happen once and twice if you're lucky in a lifetime. So why jeopardize that for a check when you already have a check? I can see if you was a broke bitch, you ain't never had shit, you like, bitch, fuck this love situation, bitch, I'm chasing this check. Okay, I can see that, but Kandi, you always gonna have a check. But you'll never be poor, so why would you jeopardize your relationship? And speaking of relationships, this episode was very sentimental to me because it was just about relationships, period, and how people deal with them. And we're gonna get into some things as we continue to review the episode, but definitely this episode was definitely relationship based, and it just like kind of made me realize how people act in relationships and how people are able to see other people's flaws but not their own, including like myself and probably you. Like when you are in a relationship and you're in an argument or you're going back and forth, like your point is so clear as day and you're wondering why the other person can't get it, but you know, the other person is in the same situation. They're wondering why you can't get their point. It's just very interesting how we are as humans, that we can't see what's clearly there unless we're outside of the situation. And we have to work on self-awareness as humans. So also in this scene, we hear Kenya reveal that she has her husband on blocked because she's upset with him and they have a child together. Now, I don't care how mad you are at your husband, there is no reason he should be unblocked. He should be able to communicate with you in regards to his daughter whenever. Kenya has always been childish to me, and she's like, oh, well, the nanny has it. The nanny is in contact with Mark and telling him when he needs to do XYZ. Girl, no. That is your husband, the father of your child, and you definitely need to be in communication with him. Just because you're upset with him, to me, blocking someone and like ending a conversation because you're over it is one of the most immature things you could do. Now, there's a difference in between saying, hey, I don't want to talk right now, I'm cutting this conversation off and I'll revisit it when I'm at a level head, as opposed to blocking someone being like, I'm not gonna have a conversation, period, because I'm mad. I don't know. To me, that's just way more immature than just expressing yourself and saying, I don't want to have this conversation right now. I'll revisit it when I have the time and when I have the right headspace and when I feel like I won't cuss you out and black your eye. Period. Next thing we cut to is boring as fuck because it's Cynthia. So you know, it's boring and Cynthia, they go hand in hand. So Cynthia is talking to her sister, Mallory, and she's talking about their business and what days they should be open and what times they should be closed, etc. It doesn't seem like Mallory respects Cynthia very much as a boss. And I do think it has to do with the fact that I do believe Mallory is older than Cynthia. So sometimes as a younger sibling, when you become your older sibling's boss, it's kind of hard for them to accept you as the boss when they've always been the boss. Because, you know, when you're the oldest, you're always supposed to watch your siblings. You always tell them what to do. You're like pretty much in control. So then when your sibling becomes your boss, you're like, bitch, who the fuck you talking to? You know, who the fuck that is? And trust me, I get it. I'm the oldest. So I definitely get Mallory's position. But that's why I don't think it's always good to hire family to help you in certain situations. I do feel like once you get money, it's good to help family when you come to a place where you can help yourself and then you can start to help other people. But trying to help family while you're trying to help yourself, sometimes it's not always a good idea because they become, either they become entitled or they feel like they're above the rest of your staff. Oh, well, I'm his sister, I'm his brother, I'm his cousin. I don't have to pay attention to these rules. Those rules are for y'all. People don't respect that this family member, this person is your boss as well, and you have to respect their position as that person. So I definitely feel like Mallory, I keep wanting to call her Marlo, but Mallory keeps having a hard time adjusting to that. So in this scene, they also do talk about Mike and Cynthia's upcoming marriage, and Mallory does give Cynthia the advice that if you're married, you can't live in two separate cities. Which I would agree if it was for two regular folks, but I mean, they are like celebrities, and celebrities move around a lot. They're never really home like that anyway. So who's to say that they can't live in two separate cities? I mean, when you're famous and you're married, you don't see your spouse every day. It's not like the rest of us where we work a 9 to 5 and we go home and we are with our spouse. It doesn't work like that in Hollywood. So I think maybe it can work. I don't know. I'm only 29 and I've never been married, and part of me doesn't even want to be married. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even want to live with a motherfucker. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know how that can work, but what do I know? I'm just a young kid. Next scene, we see Portia and Dennis the hot dog man cheating ass McKinley. So we see them in a scene together discussing their living situation, which is old at this point. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of you remember, but last year Portia had her baby special and they were arguing about the location that they were going to live in then. I'm like, damn, it's been a year. Like, y'all still arguing about the same thing. And I know a lot has transpired between last year and this year, but like, that baby is a year old and y'all still arguing about where y'all going to live. Like, Portia all the way out in Duluth, which I get is like an hour away from Atlanta. And Dennis is in the city, so like Dennis is like, bitch, look, I'm not trying to come out there. He can call her a bitch in the scene, let's be very clear, because he have like fucked up calling my favorite bitch. But no, like, I'm just a little bit concerned that they're arguing about the same things a year later. It's not a positive sign. Arguing about anything for a year and there's been no change is not a good sign for any relationship, honestly. Another part of the conversation they had was something that struck a chord with me in the middle of their argument when Portia was saying, you know, well, you did what you did, which changed our living situations. And when you decided to do what you did, and Dennis said, well, what did I do? And she said, well, you cheated. And when you decided to cheat, and Dennis's reaction rubbed me the wrong way because it was like, why do so many men not like to hear what they did? I definitely dated somebody like this before. Like, they didn't like to hear what they did. Like, if you were trying to work past what they did, whether it be cheating, whatever it is that they did that they were wrong for doing, if you bring it up while you're having the healing process conversation, they're like, well, why are you bringing it up? My thing is, if you can't freely talk about it and work through it, then have you truly taken ownership of what you did? Like, how come I can't say that you cheated when you cheated? So like, my thing is, why Dennis can't take ownership of that? He acted like she offended him for saying, well, you cheated. Yeah, you did, nigga. You cheated. You took your hot dog dick and you put it in somebody else. You cheated. So the last part of the scene was Dennis and Portia arguing over whether they wanted to have a courthouse wedding or an actual ceremony. Of course, Portia being a girl's girl, she wants to have a ceremony, and Dennis is leaning more towards a courthouse wedding. However, that was not the direction that Dennis wanted to go before he cheated and everything went the way that it did. And I kind of see both sides, okay? Because Dennis is like, look, yes, I did cheat, but why I gotta pay for a wedding to pay for people who don't like me to eat? And they're gonna sit there, eat at the wedding, and then be judging me, talking about me. But Portia's like, but you did that. And you knew I wanted a wedding, but you cheated on me, and I still want my wedding, so we still gotta go through this. So I definitely understand both points of view, because to Dennis's credit, I wouldn't be trying to play for nobody's plate that don't like me neither. I'm like, bitch, slap that plate in their fucking face. Just put the food, you know, slap the bitch with the plate. But I also understand Portia's point of view of saying, well, you cheated on me. So any energy you feel at that wedding is on you because you cheated on me. Which, I guess it's only fair. I really don't have no advice for them because I haven't lived that long to know what you do in that type of situation. The only people I know my age that have gotten married have had a wedding at a courthouse or in their backyards. So I don't know, you know, how to do that. Next scene, we're seeing NeNe and Greg. NeNe's song that she just spoke about, actually her song came out today. I have to listen to it. I have to do a review of NeNe's song actually, so I can tell y'all how trash or how great it is. So her song just came out today, but her song actually ended up opening her scene on Housewives. So we got to hear a little bit of her song. We heard a little bit of it on Instagram. If you're a follower of NeNe on Instagram, you had already heard a little bit of the song. I wish NeNe would stop singing. I wish she would just close that throat. I wish she would just close it and stop singing. But her rapping wasn't half bad, but I feel like she had Lady Luck to help her with her rapping, so that definitely like probably boosted her up, because Lady Luck is like a legend in the female rap game. If you don't know who Lady Luck is and you follow female rap, then you need to kill yourself. She's along the lines of like a Remy Ma. She's a very good battle rapper. Yeah, you gotta get into Lady Luck. But definitely NeNe had Lady Luck's help with the rapping, you can definitely tell. And the way her voice flowed on the beat was cute. Just take the singing parts out. NeNe cannot sing. I don't know how she got the Bravo, I mean not the Bravo, but the Broadway parts that she got. But look, Sloth, stop it. We do not want to hear you sing. Okay. So in this scene, NeNe and Greg get to discuss their relationship in detail. As I said, they're celebrating their anniversary, which is a beautiful thing. They've been married or together for 23 years. Not a lot of people see that these days. And that's why I say this was a relationship episode. So many of the scenes were dedicated to speaking about relationships. So NeNe and Greg celebrating their anniversary was great. I definitely think that one of the things that NeNe said when she said that, you know, when you go through the bad times and you get to work through it and turn around and look back at them, it means that much more and it feels amazing. And I definitely can relate to that. I've been through several relationships, good and bad. We've been through some things in different relationships where I feel like it was repairable. Some things were not repairable. But it's all about being able to be like, we got through that, and look like, because going through dark times together does make you closer, as not just in a relationship, but as like families, friendships. Just when you go through stuff, like I've been through stuff with my friends that not even my family could even understand because they weren't there. Like being shot and almost killed with your friends is a situation where we can sit down and talk about it verbatim. Like, bitch, you remember when this gun was in your face and it was in my face too, bitch? And we were sitting there like, what the fuck we gonna do? And we made it out both alive. That is a bond that nobody else can relate to, that nobody else can speak on, because we went through it together. And so when we go through things like that and we look back and we speak on them, we're like, damn, like we got through that and this shit happened to us both, but look at us now. So I do feel like in relationships, especially romantic relationships, because those tend to be the most intimate, that going through those bad times and being able to look back and realizing that nobody gave up is definitely something to admire. I'm young. Bitch, I give up. Bitch, what the fuck? You got one time. Bitch, got one time. Bitch, you try that shit again, bitch, I'll beat your ass. There is a brief scene with Kenya having flashbacks about Mark and their relationship and everything like that. And I'm not a Kenya fan at all. But it was hurtful and it was hard to watch. However, it's hard to feel sorry for someone who was so vicious and so mean towards other people's relationships. When you try to tear down Portia and Cordell, when you try to ruin Phaedra and Apollo, when you came for Kim and Chris, it's hard to feel sorry for Kenya. I am not saying that I wish anything on her. Like, it definitely, like, because the way that Bravo did the flashbacks, it definitely has you feeling the way like, damn, that is really fucked up. But it's hard to feel sorry for her. And I don't. In the next scene, we see Eva and Cynthia sitting down. Scene was pretty boring, but one thing that did stand out to me is that these girls be having each other kids call them auntie. And it's like, why? Why you got these kids calling this girl your auntie when you know you're gonna be into it with auntie next season? They don't never get along for more than a season or two, so it's like, why? For example, Phaedra and Portia. Portia was around Phaedra kids when they was tight. Phaedra got kicked off the show. I guarantee you, Portia ain't checking on them children like how she used to when they was on the show together. Nene and Phaedra, again, probably not checking on Phaedra's kids the way that she used to back in the day. I just feel like it's a lot to attach your kids to a person or a being, and that person be ripped from their lives. So I personally feel like you should tell your children what it is. This is a friend, and friends come and go, so that they're prepared for life lessons. Friends do come and go. Some friends are for a lifetime, but some friends are for a season. But aunties and uncles and mommies and daddies and brothers and sisters are for forever. So teaching these kids that this is auntie and auntie disappeared after the cameras leave, I don't think that's healthy for these kids. Like, that's not auntie. That's a fake ass bitch. That's what the fuck it is. The fuck? So Candy and Todd in the next scene decide that they need to see a couples therapist. So they do, which I admire because they're not giving up and they're fighting for their relationship. But his name is Michelle. Now, I was with Todd at first. I was like, you sure he a guy? You said his name, Michelle. Turns out, Michelle is from the UK, so I don't know if that's a thing over there to name they niggas Michelle. But, yeah, Michelle came and he sat down with Candy and Todd to try to figure out the ins and outs of their relationships. One of the things that concerned me is that I don't think that Candy understands how much her actions affect her family. And it's interesting to me because, again, it's one of those things where it's so easy to see from the outside looking in, but it's kind of frustrating. And don't get me wrong, Candy is a Taurus, and Taurus is my favorite sign outside of mine. I'm a Pisces, but I love Taurus. So to see her not take any responsibility, any ownership, and just kind of act like she doesn't see what's going on. I'm like, Candy girl, is you stupid? I'm like, Candy girl, are you stupid? Bitch, like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Am I repeating my voice? Like, I need her to get it together because I definitely don't want her and Todd to end up divorced, because I admire their relationship, because I admire their communication, but there does have to be a certain amount of self-awareness one has to have in order to have an effective relationship. And I'm starting to wonder if Candy has that, because she's been lacking it a little. Todd was essentially saying, prioritize your family first. He understands that sometimes work goes here, but then he says that, you know, sometimes when Candy is coming back from working, it's, oh, my friend has an event, I have to host this, I have to do that. And so it tends to be friends come here and then family comes here, when work and family should take turns being at the top. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's okay to say no to some work. Like I said, Candy's the richest on the show. She's worth $35-40 million. Girl, how much more money do you need? Sometimes it's okay not to host a gig, to sacrifice the time with your family. And I feel like it's a bit selfish for her to be bringing a newborn into the world and still have this ambition in her. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said before, Riley done told their ass a few times they ain't need no more goddamn kids. But you know how parents like to listen to children because we ain't right, we always wrong. The kids can't never provide you with no insight when we probably can provide you with the most. We probably know what's best. I know if certain people in my family said they want another a child, I'm like, bitch, no. You don't need nothing else. Certain friends, bitch, you don't even need a child, bitch. You sit your ass down somewhere and think about what the fuck you want to do with your life before you try to figure out what you want to do with a child's life, bitch. Your child gonna be a whole prostitute hoe. We don't need no more prostitutes in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But no, with that being said, we did get to see a little bit of the finale that's gonna happen next week. So, you know, after the finale, you know, that's going to be a reunion. It was supposed to be 3 parts, but with it being virtual, I'm not sure if it's going to be 3 parts. But the preview for the finale looks good as fuck. So, in the finale, we see that Candy's going to get into it with Todd. But NeNe and Kenya are going to get into it. And when I say they this close, ain't nobody holding them back at this point because they this close. They this close. So they gonna have to get into some things. And a part of me is hoping that NeNe snatch Kenya by her wig and drag her. But, you know, this is Housewives of Atlanta and I love in hip hop, so we won't get our life in that way. We just gotta hope that somebody reads somebody down better than the other. And seeing as how Kenya's husband is there, you can guess that NeNe gonna have the upper hand. And that's one thing I can say about NeNe and her relationship. Greg knows and loves NeNe for who she is. And that's the best type of relationship to have. NeNe does not have to change who she is in front of Greg or anyone else because Greg knows who she is. Kenya, on the other hand, is one way when Mark is not there. And when Mark is there, she's not Kenya, she's Ken. And to me, that's concerning because anybody that loves you should love you for who you are. So I could definitely say NeNe definitely has that love. You can say what you want about her, but Greg loves her for who she is, and that is a better relationship to have. I would want somebody to love me for who I am than to like me for who they think I'm not. And that's that on that. So with that being said, that is my review of Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 12, Episode 21. We got 22, that's going to be the next episode, 22, and then we're going to get into some things. So make sure you keep it locked right here for my next review on Episode 22. The finale, the season finale, y'all. Because you know when we get into that reunion, we're going to get into some things. I cannot wait for this reunion. That's what I'm really excited to review. I keep saying that because it's very true. So make sure you keep it locked right here, donnieC TV. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you next time. Deuce, deuce.